Hello and welcome to the channel. If you haven't done so already, make sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate that so much. So this is interesting. Hyundai is recalling some Hyundais because when you put it into park, it's not really engaging the park and brake, and it may cause your Hyundai Ioniq 5 to roll away. And the same thing is affecting the EV6, obviously, because it's made by the same company, as well as their new GV60 that I talked about recently in my other video. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you watch that one. Yeah, so anyway, let's go ahead and talk about their recall. Let's go there now. All right, so here we are. Software error could cause Hyundai Ioniq 5 and Kia EV6 to roll away in park. That's why I'm not really a fan of those electronic brake hold systems that most vehicles come with. Now they don't have like the physical, the e-brakes. They all have electronic brakes, at least new cars that are being made by certain companies, not all of them. Subaru is still producing ones with the e-brake as well as Toyota as well. Hyundai will recall 10,721 Ioniq 5s, while Kia another 9,014 EV6 as a result of an issue with the shift-by-wire system that could cause park to temporarily disengage, potentially allowing the vehicles to roll away. Oof. Hyundai is not aware of any instance of this happening in the US, but did initiate the investigation because of 4 cases in which this occurred to Ioniq 5 and one in Kia EV6 in South Korea. So it hasn't happened here yet, but it's good to see that a company is, taking action right away instead of waiting for something to happen here and then reacting to it. You want to get ahead of everything that's happening right away so you can do something about it, damage controlled, whatever you got to do in order to make sure that, your good name stays decent or good or whatever. In those cases, the owners claim the vehicles inadvertently rolled away after being parked on an incline and shutting off the ignition. Following an investigation into these claims, Hyundai determined voltage fluctuations could impact the command signal from the shifter control unit, which operate the shift-by-wire system. If this occurred, it could lead to a momentary disengagement of the parking powell, a pin within the transmission or the drive system of a vehicle that works to physically prevent the car from moving while it is parked. Hyundai's investigation also determined that the issue affected Genesis GV6 and GV80. Those are I just covered the GV60, not the GV80. And EVs, fortunately, these vehicles have yet to reach the US customers and will therefore be fixed before they're delivered, which is good. They're taking an initiative. I always like when companies, are accountable. I'm all about accountability. Same thing here. Like when I'm wrong, I'll admit I was wrong. Or if I give misinformation, I always try to just, correct it. And, you tend to garner a lot more goodwill when you're getting ahead of it and just, being honest and admit your faults and then try to be better for the next time instead of just kind of like denying it and just try to, hide it or whatever it is. For owners of the Ioniq 5 and EV6, meanwhile, Hyundai will reach out by first class mail. Starting on July 10th, they will be asked to return their vehicles to the local dealer in order to have the shift control unit software updated free of charge. It's weird that they don't have the access to push out over the air update, which is kind of weird. The fix will prevent the parking panel from being moved out of park position within the vehicle turned off. Until then, Hyundai recommends that the owners of these vehicles park their vehicles on level ground and avoid parking at an incline until the recall has been performed. And another thing, okay, so let me just go back up a little bit here. Let me pause this because I was gonna see what happens if you put it in park while there's still power running. Will it cause the vehicle not to roll away? Or, well, we'll see. Whatever happens. But like I said, it's always nice to see when a company is this proactive. There was only like 4 instances of this happening, 4 or 5 instances. I think it was 4 Ioniq 5s and 1 EV6, which is a very minimal amount of vehicles comparing to the 10,000 that they made. So it's a very small, problem that has happened. Expect this to happen with newer vehicles. You're always going to have, faults, kinks, certain things going wrong with new vehicles. So that's why I always say, that avoid buying the first generations of any vehicle, because those are the beta testing. Those are the ones that are going to have a lot of issues. Especially for me, it was my 2016 Civic sedan when it was first introduced and it first came out. Like, I was having so many issues with that vehicle. Thank God it was only just a lease and it wasn't a purchase. Otherwise, I would have been stuck with it. But it was consistently like the system, the what is it called, like the safety system, would just like have like phantom break-in where there wasn't anybody in front of you and it would just slam on the brake weirdly. And like, it was just a bunch of different things with that car. It was a lemon. And then at one point, like, all the fault codes just popped on and it was just going insane. So we took it back to the dealership to show them what was going on. And after, like, we got in one accident with that said vehicle and it was just never right since. But expect to see the same thing here, especially with the way that technology is going. As soon as there's an accident with those vehicles, you're gonna have those cars that are not gonna run like it should. Kind of comparing to a car that doesn't have a lot of computer stuff or a lot of things that are in there technology wise. Like my 2017 Civic hatchback, that car, sport, manual, and very basic, ugly ass 14-inch radio in there. No technology, no sensing, none of that crap. Because at the time, Honda didn't offer it as standard on all their vehicles. So that car has no technology in it, and it just runs like it should. The only problem with those vehicles is the GDI motor, which sometimes can cause an oil dilution. But other than that, I did not have any of those issues with that car. But anyway, let me know what you think about this story. As always, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I appreciate you guys so much for, watching the channel, supporting me. I really do appreciate every single one of you guys. All right. And yeah, have a lovely day. I know I will. At least try to. All right, I'm out.